Hello. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Hope you're all well and enjoying eCommerce Expo Day 1. I note that it's after lunch, so I'm hoping you're all rejuvenated, ready to go, and hopefully not fall asleep during my session. Thank you for attending our session today. It's all about strategies on mastering e-commerce cross-border expansion. My name is Habib Ansari, and I head up the UK e-payments team for Worldline. So for those of you who don't know Worldline, we are a payment service provider, a payments company, established 50 years ago. So we've got a strong pedigree in payments. We're a global organization with an international presence. Some in the industry regard us as being the #1 European payment processor. We've got an extensive portfolio of payment solutions, ranging from your card terminals right the way through to card acquiring services, including our acceptance service, payment gateway, online payment gateways. We help customers who are in their infancy, so in their startup scenario, right the way through to tier 1 enterprise level organizations. So today's session, I'm going to cover off 4 topics. So just a quick snapshot of what I'll be covering off with you guys. So we're going to talk about current cross-border landscape. Here, I'm going to talk to you guys about opportunities, trends, and challenges. We'll then move on to why, where, and who shops cross-border. So here, we'll look at the motivations and behaviors of the international shoppers. We'll then move on to fraud detection and fraud prevention using artificial intelligence and machine learning, which is quite topical these days. And we'll close with a case study of an existing customer of ours that have kept things very basic with their checkout, which is very important because they're finding that to be a strategy winner for them. Let's start. So to begin with, I want to share some European figures with you. So I think you'll all agree that Europe is very rich in culture and tradition. It has a population of 750 million people, as well as over 23 million businesses. Now that alone presents a great opportunity for businesses in the UK to consider that landscape to expand into. You can see from the market size that almost 20% of cross-border sales transactions contribute to the overall industry. And we can see some of the verticals there where some retailers today still opt to sell in our neighboring countries because they recognize the demand. The graph to your far end shows the distribution of purchases according to the seller's origin. And here you can see that over 20% of sellers are from EU countries. So clearly we can see there is good opportunity within this landscape. I want to talk to you guys about global cross-border e-commerce and compare it to Europe. Here you'll see the biggest buyers in the global column being Morocco and South Africa. Right? So they are the biggest when it comes to purchasing online. And that alone gives us resilience and an understanding that effectively there is a reliance, apologies I said resilience earlier, but there's a reliance on international shopping from a global perspective. You look at other countries as well, UAE, Nigeria, Australia, they're presenting high purchase percentages, which again reinforces the need for international shopping. Compare that to Europe, and you'll see Poland with a staggering 95% purchase percentage, which is enormous. And you can see the other European countries not far behind, but having similar percentages. So why are we sharing this with you? Because we wanted to highlight that for UK sellers, retailers, there's great opportunity to take advantage here and benefit from this trend and capitalize on this requirement from international and cross-border consumers. We can also see it here. So you probably are aware UK is predominantly a well-established place where online shoppers will come and purchase goods from. We can see that from a European perspective, where Europeans are coming over and purchasing goods from UK sellers. So you can see that in Poland, you can see it in Germany, you can see it in Spain. And again, these figures further reinforce the opportunity for UK sellers to expand internationally. Now, this slide here represents some behaviors which we thought would be good for you to see and understand. Now, for me personally, when we're shopping online as consumers, right, in today's world, we are all, as consumers, very price sensitive, right? And that's why the first bar, 59% of us will buy on price, because we want the cheapest deal, effectively. Obviously, we understand we don't want to compromise too much on quality, but realistically, we're shopping around for the best deal. That's what we're doing. But the other three are important, and they actually coincide with some of the stats that I've shared with you, which are very much around product not being available in my country. Examples of that is Poland. 95% of people are buying internationally. South Africa, Morocco. So that rings very true. Better quality products for services. Countries like China, US, UK have a more established industry. Therefore, they have a diverse range of products and services that they can offer. Hence, people, Europeans, coming in and purchasing from those established markets. So moving on, now that I've kind of given you a little bit of a flavor of what the landscape looks like, I want to talk to you guys about a bit more of a delicate topic, which is AI and fraud detection and prevention. Excuse me. Now, AI in fraud and machine learning is at the forefront of technology. For example, even in this conference, it's a key focus topic, and I'm sure you'll probably go to other seminars and workshops to hear about things. So it's something which we all need to understand and we can't avoid. It is effectively, in today's high-risk environment, playing a crucial role by safeguarding us as consumers, as well as businesses. And what I wanted to share with you guys today is how AI and machine learning is actually revolutionizing fraud detection in the payments world. As you know, artificial intelligence, machine learning is very much about learning from data, but also at the same time having the ability to process large quantities of unstructured data. It has this ability to help with detecting fraud and protecting consumers as well as retailers with speed and precision. And it's able to offer its findings in real time, which is the critical point. Now, there are different variations of artificial intelligence, and I'm sure you guys have come across these. But why I wanted to highlight these is because today we are specifically focusing in the payments world on machine learning and deep learning. And as I said, machine learning is very much about learning from data, and deep learning is very much about processing large amounts of unstructured data and processing it through and learning from neural networks. generative AI and large language models like ChatGPT, they're still they're out there, they're picking up momentum, but they're not as prevalent in the payments world yet. And we all know that soon they will get incorporated into how technology will evolve. Now, to give you an idea of the situation with fraud, there's some stats here. So last year, 48 billion was lost in the industry on online fraud. That's a staggering number. 16 billion, or 13 times more money, was lost due to false positives, incorrect assigning of authorized transactions, where retailers thought that this is fraud, but technically it isn't fraud, right? And that's incorrect assigning. The other fact over there is annually, 11% of revenues for a retailer is spent on average on managing fraud systems, which again is huge. But at the same time, it's not all doom and gloom. There are good things that are happening. So research tells us in the past 2 years, our countermeasures on trying to reduce fraud are working. So since 2021, the level of fraudulent transactions has dropped from 3.4% to 3%. So it gives us comfort that these measures are working when it comes to putting in AI with fraud. And not only that, AI is also helping with efficiency, operational efficiency, where it's able to outline and optimize workflows for organizations. It's able to accurately pinpoint data with speed. And it is able to overall detect fraud at a pace which merchants, retailers were not able to handle previously. It's completely adaptive. So effectively, the great thing about AI is that whilst it's managing, adapting to the ever-changing fraud scenarios and the evolution of fraud, it's always keeping in line with your business strategy. And that's part of the machine learning. I wanted to share an example with you, and I'm going to use Worldline as an example, because we, as a payments company, we have our own fraud engine. And effectively, our fraud engine uses AI, and it's adaptive AI, so it's machine learning, and it's powered by Microsoft. So effectively, what we're doing is that we are allowing our fraud engine to learn from transactional data, which is being linked with Microsoft's neural network. And within that network, where we're gaining and how we're helping our customers is not only does that neural network have all of Microsoft's entities, but other global organizations. And through that deep learning, we're able to pass that on to our consumers, our merchants, sorry. In granular terms, this is a kind of like a little flow diagram we wanted to put together to give you an idea of exactly where the checking or the machine learning is kicking in. So you're familiar with this, I'm sure. Once the transaction details are sent to the Worldline platform, what the Worldline platform does, it facilitates the payment through its fraud engine. And behind the scenes, what the fraud engine is doing is talking to Microsoft's AI technology. And what Microsoft's technology is doing is effectively acting like a watchdog to spot and stop. And that communication between us is happening, which is then sent back through the engine, Worldline engine, and we then process the transaction how we see fit. So I hope that helped. I said that I will share a case study with you guys, with one of our customers. And before I do that, I think it's important to understand why we're actually sharing that with you. So as an organization, we've done a lot of analysis on the buyer journey, effectively, in 2024 and how things have changed. And when we talk to retailers about expanding internationally or looking at domestic markets to build their business, we like to highlight that they need to understand today's buyer's journey, and that means us, you and I. So we're consumers, right? From the information that I've shared with you today, and I'm sure from the information that you already know, as consumers, if we put that in practice, what does that mean? So, effectively, when we want to do some shopping, what do? First and foremost, we actually do research. So we'll go onto the net, we'll go onto a marketplace, we'll go onto social media. We might even go to the direct retailers that are actually holding or that stock the products that we're looking for. So we spend a lot of time in doing research. And remember the slide that I showed you where consumers are buying a lot on price, right? That's part of the reason why we're doing it, is the research, because we want to get the best deal. So once we've got our research sorted out, what do we do then as a next step as consumers? We then decide where we're going to buy from. Where's our purchase decision, right? So where are we going to go? Are we going to go to a marketplace? Are we going to go directly to the retailer? Where are we going to buy from? And these two things are fundamentally very important for retailers to understand, because the next layer, where you can see all these nice platforms, is very important. We understand that for businesses that want to expand cross-border, it's not an easy task, right? And there's a lot of resource that needs to be devoted to that project. There's cost involved. And especially if you're dealing and if you're working with complex, bespoke systems, which are in-house, which have been there for years, in your downstream systems, it's going to be difficult to move. But that's where these platforms come in, and how technology has evolved and developed, because these are smart platforms that offer easy setups to businesses to penetrate markets internationally. And also, they are not so heavily dependent on resource. So, from a retailer's perspective, if you are looking at this, then effectively you can bridge a lot of gaps and save yourself a lot of resource as well as money trying to penetrate these markets. And some of these platforms are here today, so from that perspective, I'm sure they'll be able to give you more insights into how easy it is to set up with them. But once you've got the platform part sorted out, that's not the end of it, because you need to have a payment processor, right? So you need to look at how I can get an embedded payment processor to support my platform. Because ultimately, you need to provide a first-class checkout experience for your customer. Because if you don't, then they're not going to come back, because unfortunately, it goes back to the first layer around research. If they've had a poor experience, they're not going to come back to you. There's not that much loyalty apart from the cheapest price these days. So the payments part is important. And then final layer is, once you've got your payments part, you need to make sure that the payments company is offering the right payment methods. So we all understand how hard retailers work to get traffic onto their site, how much work's involved, but at the last point where they need to process the payment, the consumer needs to process the payment. If the right payment method's not there, all of that hard work's gone because the sale's lost. So you need to work with a company that will provide you with the right payment methods at point of checkout. It's not just about Visa, MasterCard, American Express, PayPal, Klarna, Google, Apple Pay, because those are the payment methods we know here in the UK. Outside is completely different, and I'm sure you're used to or you've heard about different payment methods, like local cards, Carte Bancaire in France, right? China Union Pay, and many more. So it's very important to capitalize on that conversion. You offer the local payment methods. And with that, I want to bring your attention to our customer, eCommerce. Now, this is an international retailer that trades with us in 10 countries, processes 12 different currencies. This is their mobile desktop that we've kind of taken a video of. You can see how basic it looks, right? But it's nice and clean. aesthetically, it's easy on the eye. They've done key things which work really well. So they've offered local payment methods. They've planned their back button behavior. They're able to effectively provide a mobile responsive page. They've used validated related colors, like green, to help you to psychologically let consumers know that this is a safe site. And they enjoy a very healthy conversion rate at the moment. And that's why we thought it's important to share this with you, because today, where technology is really vast, it's very easy for businesses to get lost in there. And our message here is that just because there's lots of technologies out there, always having it big and extravagant isn't always the winning strategy. So if you're looking to expand internationally, get the basics right. Thank you. I hope that was informative and you're not too bored. Open to any questions. Great, thank you very much.